Hey everyone, if you're listening to this, you're probably keeping a close eye on that crypto portfolio, especially with what Bitcoin's been doing lately. We're going to take a deep dive today into some recent market analysis, and it gets pretty interesting when you look past just Bitcoin.
Yeah, definitely. Bitcoin holding above $96,000, that's a good sign. But the AI and DeFi tokens, that's where things are getting exciting.
Let's unpack all that, starting with Bitcoin. It's been, what's the word, consolidating lately.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean? Like, is it just taking a break or what?
Well, consolidation in crypto, it's like you said, it's like a pause, a period where the price moves within a range. It's not skyrocketing, it's not plummeting. And analysts are seeing this as Bitcoin building a foundation, like getting ready to potentially jump up past $100,000.
Interesting. So it's not necessarily a time to panic. It could be a good sign.
Yeah, you got it. And there are a few reasons they're saying that. They're looking at, historical patterns, things like trading volume, those support levels, hovering around that $95,000 mark, all pointing towards potentially some bullish movement.
So this stability is actually something to watch for.
Absolutely. And it's not just us regular folks paying attention. The big institutions, they're seeing it too. We've got a huge influx of money going into Bitcoin ETFs, something like $475 million.
Okay, now you're going to have to remind me. What's an ETF again? I know it's important, but
Yeah, no worries. ETF, it stands for Exchange Traded Fund.
Ah.
Basically, it's like a bundle of assets, in this case Bitcoin, that gets traded on the stock exchanges. So it makes it way easier for those big institutions to get into the crypto game. And that huge amount of money flowing in, it's a sign of growing confidence, especially since they've been kind of hesitant about crypto in the past. Oh, and gonna mention, it's not just Bitcoin. Ethereum is seeing this too, about $89 million into its ETFs.
wow. So this is like a shift. The financial world is really starting to see crypto differently. But what about the stuff happening outside of crypto, the global economy, inflation, all that? How does that impact things?
Yeah, macroeconomics, those definitely have an effect. Think of it this way. When the economy is doing well, people are more willing to take risks. So they might invest more in things like crypto.
Makes sense.
But on the other hand, a really strong US dollar, that can sometimes put downward pressure on crypto prices because then it becomes like relatively more expensive for people holding other currencies.
Gotcha. So keeping an eye on the big picture is pretty important. Helps us understand the crypto market better. All right, but let's get to what everyone's really buzzing about. These AI and DeFi tokens, I mean, some of them are making crazy moves, like, what was it, Hyperliquid's HYPE token went up 15% in just 24 minutes.
Yeah, it did. And not just a taste of the excitement around DeFi, decentralized finance. These platforms, they're trying to completely change the way we think about finance, get rid of the middlemen, the banks. They offer people more control, more transparency, and that's clearly attracting a lot of attention. Just look at those token prices.
Okay, I get the appeal, but it also sounds really complicated. Can you explain how DeFi actually gives you more control and transparency?
For sure. So imagine you don't need a bank to get a loan or to lend money. DeFi lets you do that directly with other people on the platform. It uses something called smart contracts, which are basically like self-executing agreements to make sure everything's automated and secure. So no more waiting around for a bank, no crazy fees, and you have full control over your assets.
Wow.
And the transparency comes from, blockchain. All the transactions are recorded there publicly, so anyone can go in and check them, audit them, and make sure everything's legit.
That's pretty revolutionary. It's like taking power back from those big institutions and putting it right into the hands of individuals.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's also that venture capital token, IA16, that's doing pretty well too. And it's tied to this AI project called ELIZA, right? What's that all about?
Yeah, Eliza. It's an AI, and what it does is it creates digital versions of people like avatars, but with personality.
What?
Still under development, but the potential is mind-blowing. Imagine you're interacting with a DeFi platform, but it's through a personalized avatar that knows what you like, what your goals are.
Like a digital version of you navigating all the DeFi stuff.
Exactly.
Wild. It does sound a bit overwhelming, though. I mean, AI, DeFi, they're still pretty high risk, right?
Yeah, for sure. Huge potential, but it's still early days. The technology is changing so fast. There are definitely risks, like with anything new. It's super important to do your research, understand the tech, and be honest with yourself about how much risk you can handle before investing.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly, yeah.
Diversify.
So, any advice for those of us already in the crypto game? Well, the analysts are saying if you see a dip, especially with Bitcoin or Ethereum, Don't freak out. Might actually be a good time to buy. Remember, the long-term trends, they're positive. Technology is advancing, more and more people are accepting crypto. But always diversify your portfolio and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Solid advice. So to recap, Bitcoin's holding steady, maybe even getting ready for a big jump. AI and DeFi, lots of buzz there, lots of potential. But as always, it's about calculated risks, making smart decisions.
Yep, couldn't have said it better myself.
So one last thing to think about as we wrap up. With all these AI-powered personalities popping up, like Eliza, will that totally change how we interact with DeFi platforms? Pretty interesting question, right? Keep learning, keep exploring, and stay curious out there.